Dark Phoenix, a movie that I've said multiple times has definitely got the short end of the stick. It has always been treated like this redheaded stepchild ever since it was announced, because everyone knew that the Disney remake or the Disney acquisition was coming, and there was just no excitement for this movie, because why see something that you ultimately don't have any reason to, because there's no way to have any kind of emotional attachment to it. And as a result of it, I think I was maybe one of like 8 people who saw it opening weekend. And even though I enjoyed the movie for what it was, there are many people out there who simply didn't, and that's okay. But now that we're kind of coming off of a few weeks of the movie, I think a month of it having come out, it's already dropped to 12th place. It's already been pulled out of theaters. I mean, it is just tanked. It's going to go down as the worst box office bomb in 2019, hands down, bar none. And what we're learning about that now, and this is definitely not the accolade it wants to be associated with, but yep, it's a bigger bomb than Fantastic Four. Think about that for a second. X-Men Dark Phoenix, which is an arguably better movie because it's actually watchable in many instances, is a bigger flop than Josh Trank's 2015 FAN4STICK. That's sad. Anyway, it says here that we know that Marvel and Fox's Dark Phoenix was a bomb for the studio, but the film is now closing up its theatrical run around the world, and we have just an idea of how much it fizzled. Dark Phoenix played in 426 domestic cinemas this weekend, and its overseas release is also winding down, with its total box office likely to end around 250 million worldwide. With a reported budget of 200 million, the film looks like it will close out under 1.39 times its budget. That's a worse ratio than Fantastic Four, which made 167.9 million around the world off of a $120 million budget. So even though the movie fared better with critics and probably with fans overall, it crashed and burned. And the thing is, though, I do want to point out that a lot of it has to do with the fact that there's been a lot of movies this summer that have crashed and burned. In 2015, when FAN4STICK came out, this type of massive bombing during the summer was happening, but not as bad as is happening right now. And like I said before, there's only so much money to go around in the summer season, and people are going to justify certain bits of entertainment. They watched Endgame a few more times instead of going to see Dark Phoenix because they felt that there was an emotional connection there and one that they got a better deal out of, or they wanted to save their money for Toy Story 4 or save their money for Spider-Man Far From Home, both of which are better films than Dark Phoenix. I mean, when you know that Dark Phoenix is going to end out this franchise, is going to end out this 19-year lineage with this one studio, and it's all going to not be canon anymore, you just don't care about it. When they released FAN4STICK, it was at least meant to like kind of tie into the larger world, even though they had said that ultimately it wasn't going to be in the same universe as X-Men, which I think was a gigantic mistake. I think that's still a mistake when companies do that. Like, if you have a shared universe, don't start separating that universe. It shows you no confidence in the product. And when when you have the director come out and say that this is not the movie that I made, and this is kind of the movie that Simon Kinberg cobbled together at the very end, yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I do wonder if the movie is going to find a home on a place on home video. I think when it comes to Disney Plus, when Disney Plus comes out, people are going to watch it and people are going to go, that's not as bad as I thought it was. That's not as bad as people made me led to believe. And at the end of the day, it might find some cult status in that particular world, but that's where it's going to stay. And that is going to be the ending of that franchise. And it's bad when that is the ending. It's even worse when you make less money overall or less of a profit. You bomb harder than Fantastic Four. That's it's terrible.